Whether the Gallaghers were meant to be the instigators of that wrath, or its victims, varied according to the story and the mood of the storyteller. Laughter, tears, joy, sorrow, love, hatred, birth and death, every beat of every Gallagher heart resounded in the stone and wood and plaster of the castle, so that those sensitive to such things could feel the thrum of centuries through their bodies. Any animals brought into the house as pets must learn to live with the echoes or be driven out. The castle knew her own, and jealousy kept their secrets. Secrets in the Norman keep, its spiral stone steps worn by thousands of feet over the centuries. Secrets in the Tudor hall that housed spinet and lute and harp. Secrets in the Regency study, soaked in its aura of patriarchal privilege. And above all, secrets in the library, with its soaring walls and stained glass windows, the Gothic fan vaulting, poised loftily above the thousands of books in their bays. Books in glass cases, books on open shelves, books and manuscripts and journals and maps stored in great Renaissance coffers. The library had secrets aplenty to reveal, to those who knew how to look. Chapter 2, 2015. Carragh Ryan, perched straight-backed on the reproduction 19th century chair, offered her by the interviewer, and was devoutly glad she'd chosen her most sober grey-green tweed shift today. The woman seated before her was 80 at least, and dressed as though she were heading to a Downton Abbey funeral. Do people still wear bombazine? Cara's mind rattled inwardly, as it did when she was nervous. What even is bombazine? And do I really want this job if it's working for her? Perhaps the woman, who had declined to give her name when Carragh entered the anonymously expensive hotel suite, could read minds. Because she now asked, "Why do you want a job of which you know virtually nothing?" Because those I do know about are all of them so deadly boring, I want to claw my eyes out just applying for them. Carragh smiled, though it seemed unlikely this woman would be susceptible to flattery. If a job has to do with books, I don't need to know much more. You understand this position is of limited duration, 3 weeks at the most. I understand. It is also an isolated situation. You would be resident with us without reliable mobile phone service or internet access. Carragh couldn't help herself. Literary allusions were second nature. Sounds very Victoria Holt or Daphne du Maurier. When the woman merely looked at her blankly, she babbled on. Gothic writers, mysterious manners, naive governesses, brooding lords in the manor. Never mind. Am I to take it you see me in the role of Mrs. Danvers? Cara's eyebrows shot up at mention of the unpleasant housekeeper from du Maurier's Rebecca. It was the interviewer's turn to smile. I am 3 times your age, my dear. It is just possible I have read as many books as you have. The old woman had been reviewing Cara's resume, and now removed her glasses and let them hang from a chain. Without the lenses, her eyes were even sharper. Your name indicates Irish heritage, but clearly you are not. Carragh almost found this straightforward statement refreshing. I am adopted. From China? Boston. They hovered there for a moment before the older woman moved on to the point of their meeting. So, you are American-born, were raised in Boston, have a degree in English literature from Boston College, and postgraduate work in Irish studies at Trinity. Yes. And you have remained in Dublin since Trinity, doing freelance editorial work when you can get it, secretarial work when you cannot. Yes. Were they ever, Carragh wondered, going to get an actual question? Or the slightest hint about what this mysterious job would entail? Once again, the nameless woman proved remarkably adept at sensing Cara's thoughts, for she began to question her closely and intently about everything from her familiarity with Irish ballads to her experience working in research libraries. When Carragh was ushered out 20 minutes later, a little dazed, she not only had no idea